Hello students, I am Dr. Amit Bhatnagar, working as Senior Research Officer in the Department of Agronomy at GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, Uttarakhand. In this lecture, I will tell you about the organic source of nutrients in organic farming. So what are the organic source for nutrient? So which type of material we can apply in organic farming, and these materials are actually in organic in nature. So in organic farming, we do not apply any chemical fertilizer or synthetic material. So what is the reason that we do not apply chemical fertilizers in organic farming like urea, DAP, MOP? We do not apply. So what is the reason that these are prohibited in organic farming? Despite these fertilizers provide the nutrients in good amount, but these are not allowed in organic farming. So what is the reason? Actually, the organic farming is based on four principles. Principle of health means we have to maintain the health of soil, plant, animal and human being. Then principle of ecology, we have to maintain the ecological balance, no disturbance in ecology. Means we have to maintain the environment and do not pollute the environment. Then principle of fairness means maintain the relationship in such a way that it ensure the quality of the produce. And fourth one is principle of care, means maintain the resources and do not use any technology or any practice which has risk on the environment or any resource. So means in organic farming we have to follow four principles. If we adopt any practice or any method or any technology which is not in the line of this principle or disobey the principle or against the principle, then these practices are not allowed. इसका मतलब कि हमें यह है कि जो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग के चार प्रिंसिपल्स हैं उनको हमें फॉलो करना है. अगर कोई प्रैक्टिस या मेथड इन प्रिंसिपल्स को फॉलो नहीं करती है, इन प्रिंसिपल्स के अगेंस्ट है, तो हम उस किसी भी प्रैक्टिस को, किसी भी मेथड को या किसी भी सब्सटेंस को यूज नहीं करेंगे. सो इन केस ऑफ केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स, सिंथेटिक फर्टिलाइजर्स, there is a problem that these fertilizer applications do not follow some principles of organic farming. So what is the problem? We'll discuss here. The first thing is that the chemical fertilizer, whether it is urea, DAP, जो भी हम chemical fertilizer बना रहे हैं, these are based on fusel fuel. Fusel fuel is used like coal or electricity. Electricity is also dependent on coal. So fusel fuel is there. So it means this is the use of resources. So resources degeneration is there, degradation of, we can say, utilization of resources. So when we use the petrol, diesel, coal, so utilization of resources, and these resources cannot be replenished, means non-renewable resources. It means the depletion of the resources. So it causes the depletion of resources, and it is the against the ecology or the environment or रिसोर्स कंजर्वेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. तो जो भी हम फर्टिलाइजर बना रहे हैं, फैक्ट्री चलाने के लिए हमें कोई डीजल, पेट्रोल, कोयला लगाना पड़ेगा, बिजली लगानी पड़ेगी, बिजली भी कोयले पे डिपेंड करती है, तो हमारे रिसोर्सेज सारे खत्म हो जाएंगे. और ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है कि हम रिसोर्सेज को डिग्रेड करें. इन ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग वी हैव टू मेंटेन दी रिसोर्सेज. दैट्स व्हाई फर्टिलाइजर्स आर नॉट अलाउड. सेकेंड इज दैट ड्यूरिंग द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड ड्यूरिंग द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर, जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रही है या हम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन रेलवे से कर रहे हैं, ट्रक से कर रहे हैं, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ CO2 इमिशन, एंड दिस CO2 इमिशन कॉज ग्लोबल वार्मिंग and this global warming is responsible for climate change. It means the application of fertilizer, means the production of fertilizer result into emission of CO2 into atmosphere. इसका मतलब जब हम फर्टिलाइजर बनाते हैं तो CO2 गैस निकलेगी और एटमॉस्फेयर में आएगी, and it will cause global warming. It is responsible for, and it will cause the climate change. So it means it is against the principle of ecology. So ecological balance disturb हो रहा है. फॉसिल फ्यूल हम कर रहे हैं, रिसोर्सेज डिग्रेड हो रहे हैं. It is against the principle of care. Principle of care says that we have to maintain the resources, we have to maintain the environment quality and not use any technology which has risk. तो फॉसिल फ्यूल यूज करने से हमारा प्रिंसिपल ऑफ केयर फॉलो नहीं होता है. CO2 इमिशन से प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इकोलॉजी फॉलो नहीं होता है, पूरा इकोलॉजिकल डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है. देन हैवी मेटल कंटामिनेशन. द फर्टिलाइजर हैव मैनी heavy metals. So fertilizer are not pure. Urea is not as such pure. DAP is not as such pure. There is heavy metal contamination during the manufacturing. And when we apply this fertilizer, then cadmium, nickel, mercury contamination is in soil. And these heavy metals are toxic for plant, for animal, for human being. So if soil is contaminated, microbes are also affected. And microbes are very important for nutrient recycling. Then if it absorbed by the plant, then plant health is affected, and we consume such type of plant, fruit, cereal, grain, etc. Then our health is also affected. Means the principle of health is not followed. तो हम जब भी फर्टिलाइजर डालेंगे, हैवी मेटल्स उसके अंदर होते हैं, फर्टिलाइजर्स के अंदर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आते हैं, और ये फर्टिलाइजर हैवी मेटल सॉइल में जाएंगे, सॉइल को पॉल्यूट करेंगे, माइक्रोब्स की हेल्थ को एडवर्सली अफेक्ट करेंगे, डेफिनेटली हमारी हेल्थ को भी करेंगे. तो हमारी हेल्थ क्या होगी, डिस्टर्ब होगी. सो दिस इज द अगेंस्ट ऑफ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ हेल्थ. देन gaseous loss and leaching. This is important in case of nitrogenous fertilizer, particularly with the urea. And nitrogen is subjected for denitrification, and during the denitrification N2O gas is released, and this is also greenhouse gas. It means with the application of urea, N2O emission is there. Then during the volatilization, ammonia gas is released, so it also disturbs the gaseous composition of the atmosphere. So it is against also the ecology principle. Then leaching is there, nitrate leaching is there, and eutrophication is there. Then nitrate pollution is there, because if nitrate is more in groundwater, and if such water is used for drinking purpose, then it causes severe health problem, particularly methemoglobinemia, and it reduces the hemoglobin capacity to transport the oxygen. And because of this problem, methemoglobinemia, particularly in children, there is a death, and this is known as blue baby syndrome. So eutrophication is there, groundwater pollution is there, environmental pollution is there, gaseous composition is changed. So it means it is also against the principle of health, principle of care, principle of ecology. So when we use the fertilizer, definitely our environment is affected, soil environment is affected, groundwater is affected, air environment is affected, our health is affected, and gaseous composition is changed, more chance of global warming, क्लाइमेट चेंज इससे और ज़्यादा होगा. तो इसका मतलब हम फर्टिलाइजर जो यूज़ करते हैं, हम नो डाउट इनसे हमें न्यूट्रिएंट मिलते हैं, क्रॉप की ग्रोथ अच्छी होती है, लेकिन ओवरऑल अगर हम एनवायरनमेंट पे, अपने रिसोर्सेज पे, अपनी हेल्थ पे हम देखें, तो दीज एडवर्सली अफेक्ट ऑल दीज थिंग. दैट्स वाई फर्टिलाइजर्स आर नॉट अलाउड, दीज आर प्रोहिबिटेड. तो ये रीज़न है कि हम केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर को यूज़ नहीं करते हैं. तो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द सोर्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट, वी गिव एम्फेसिस only on organic source, because in case of organic source there is not such type of problem, and organic source always in favor of principle of health, principle of ecology, principle of fair, and principle of care. So when we use the organic source, then there are numerous advantage with the organic source. So advantage with the organic source is that organic matter is produced by the organic source, and this organic matter is helpful in soil aggregation. So soil aggregation is improved when we use organic source. And if it is clay soil, so micropores are more, so it reduces the micropore and increases the macropores. And in case of sandy soil, macropores are more, so it reduces the macropores. It means overall soil aggregation is improved with the addition of organic matter. So if soil aggregation is improved, then soil aeration is improved, water holding capacity is improved, and then overall root growth is good, and the plant growth is good. So this is the impact of organic matter. There are numerous advantages. Then during the organic matter decomposition, some acids are produced, organic acids are produced, and these organic acids are very helpful in reducing the salinity and alkalinity of soil. It means soil improvement is there. Then with the addition of this organic source, अभी हम बताएंगे कौन कौन से ऑर्गेनिक सोर्स हैं, लेकिन जो हम ऑर्गेनिक सोर्स के क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं इसको समझ लें आप. तो with the addition of organic matter, microbial activity is increased, because these act as a food. So microbial activity is more, so means nutrient transformation, nutrient recycling is more. So it is helpful in nutrient release and mineralization process. Then these organic matter is also helpful in increasing cation exchange capacity, because they hold the cations. Actually, these organic matter in organic acids behave like carry the negative charges, and these negative charge carry the cations like ammonium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and then they release through cation exchange mechanism. So CEC is increased. Organic matter has very high CEC, and because of this high CEC, soil fertility is more and more availability of nutrient. Another is that humic acids are produced, and these humic acids are very important in providing resistance in plant against the diseases. तो ये जो ह्यूमिक एसिड हैं बहुत बेनिफिशियल होते हैं, खासतौर से जो रेसिस्टेंस प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, तो ये बहुत हेल्पफुल होता है ऑर्गेनिक मैटर. And there is a lecture on benefits of organic matter and humus, and you can watch this lecture in playlist Soil Fertility and Nutrient Management. So that's why we use the organic sources. And in organic farming, our objective is recycling and reuse. So whatever organic material is produced, whether it is a crop residue or compost, it should be used, and the dependence on external input should be minimum. So this is the basic idea of organic farming, that use the produce which are produced on the farm, not from the outside. So recycle, reuse and efficient management is essential in organic farming. So whatever crop residues are produced, dung is produced, urine is there, leftover material is there, leftover feed is there, all these are used in organic farming, and not chemical fertilizers are allowed. So these are the advantages of organic matter used in organic farming. So there are a number of benefits. Now, what are the organic source of nutrient? Actually, this organic source of nutrient can be categorized into two group. Organic sources. Number one is organic manure. Organic manures, and manures are the substances which are produced either from plant or animal. And second one is biofertilizers. And there are two lectures in the playlist on the on types of manure and the classification of biofertilizers. You can watch this lecture in the playlist Soil Fertility and Nutrient Management. There is detailed description about the organic manure and biofertilizer. I am just giving the brief of these organic manures. And these organic manure then further can be divided into two group. Bulky organic manures means which required in huge quantity. They require in bulk, बहुत ज़्यादा मात्रा में चाहिए जो, because nutrient content is very less, about 0.4%, 0.5%. So they are applied in ton, 5 ton per hectare, 10 ton per hectare, 15 ton per hectare. And second one is concentrated organic manure. So in this concentrated organic manure, the nutrient content is high, about 5%, 6%, 7%. And they also require in huge quantity, but not as in case of bulky. So first, bulky organic manures, very good example is FYM, farmyard manure. Then compost, and compost may be farm compost or town compost. If it is produced on farm, on the field, then it is known as farm compost. If it is produced in city or town, then it is known as town compost. Then vermicompost. Vermicompost is obtained from the earthworm, and this vermicompost is rich in antibiotic, hormone, vitamins, as well as in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So vermicompost has many advantages over FYM and compost, and these FYM compost should be well decomposed. If these are raw, then there will be disadvantage. If raw FYM compost is applied into the field, there may be chance of insect, particularly white grub, soil inhibiting insects, and nutrient immobilization. Nutrient will be immobilized and not available to the plant. That's why these organic should be well decomposed. If this is not well decomposed, then there are disadvantages. So please watch the video on the organic matter and humus and its benefit advantages present in the playlist. Then sheep and goat manure, then poultry manure, then sewage and sludge, but sewage and sludge is carefully used. and because there may be contamination, so this sewage and sludge is used after the treatment. Then green manuring is very good. Green manuring is two type. Leaf green manuring means the leguminous plant which are growing outside the field, roadside, then the leaf, twigs, etc. are collected and they are applied into the field. Another is in situ green manuring, means green manure crop like sesbania, dhecha is grown into the field and incorporated in the field. So green manuring is very good, and this green manuring is helpful in increasing organic matter content, nitrogen content, and helpful in reducing the salinity of the soil and also reduces the root knot nematode. तो green manuring के बहुत advantages होते हैं, and these green manure crop like sesbania has very deep root system and they extract the nutrient from the deeper layer and the nutrient come onto the top. तो जो डीप रूट होती हैं वो नीचे जाती हैं, वहाँ से न्यूट्रेंट को ऑब्जर्व करती हैं और ऊपर आ जाते हैं न्यूट्रेंट्स, तो एक तरह से न्यूट्रेंट की रिसाइकलिंग हो जाती है, जो न्यूट्रेंट नीचे थे जो यूज नहीं हो पा रहे थे ऊपर आ जाते हैं. सो इन दिस वे ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग इज वेरी हेल्पफुल. सो these are the bulky organic manure, and concentrated may be categorized in two type: oil cakes, oil seed crop. Oil cake is obtained, so first oil is extracted from the seed and the leftover material is known as oil cake. So groundnut oil cake is used, mustard oil cake is used, castor oil seed is used, cotton seed oil cake is used. So these are very important because they are rich in nitrogen, about 5 to 7% nitrogen in oil cake. And second category is bone meal, fish meal, blood meal. Actually these are rich in nitrogen and they are used in powder form. So these are dried and then then powder is made and then applied into the field. So concentrated are two group: oil cake and meal, blood meal, meat meal, fish meal. So these are used in powder form. So these are the organic manure. Another bulk organic manure is very important is crop residue. Actually in our country crop residue is used for animal feed, but crop residue can be recycled, can be used for the nutrient. So crop residue should not be burned, they should be recycled. So these are the bulky organic manure. So here the objective is the whatever material is produced in the field, use, reuse, recycle by the efficient management. So in organic farming it is not like that the FYM is using from the outside, compost is using from the outside. No, whatever the dung, urine or waste material, biomaterial is there, it is prepared at the field, then it is applied. तो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में जो हम ऑर्गेनिक मैन्योर यूज कर रहे हैं उसको हमें बाजार से खरीद के नहीं लाना है या बाहर से नहीं लाना है, उसको हमको फार्म पे ही प्रोड्यूस करना है ताकि रीयूज हो, रिसाइकिल हो, इफिशिएंट मैनेजमेंट हो, so that ecological balance is maintained. So output is converted into input. Dung is output and it is converted into input. Crop residue is output, then it is converted into input. So output, conversion, input make a system. That's why efficiency, ecological balance is maintained. So it is very important for ecology, for the environmental point of view, for resource conservation point of view. तो ये इसलिए हम इसको जो फार्म पे प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है उसी को ही हमें यूज करना है. Then in case of biofertilizer, important biofertilizer are nitrogen fixing type biofertilizer. We know that there are two type of nitrogen fixing biofertilizers, free living and symbiotic. So a detailed lecture is there, classification of biofertilizer in the playlist, soil fertility and nutrient management, and you may watch this lecture in the detail. So nitrogen fixing free living are azotobacter, azospirillum, acetobacter, and the symbiotic is very common is rhizobium, used in pulse. Then azolla is also used in transplanted rice in water bodies. तो जहाँ transplanted rice है, जहाँ water में use करते हैं वहाँ हम azolla को use कर सकते हैं. Blue green algae is also used. Then phosphorus solubilizer for phosphorus availability, and these are actually two type: phosphorus solubilizer and phosphorus mobilizer. In case of phosphorus solubilizer, bacteria and fungus produce some acids, produce some enzymes which solubilize the tricalcium phosphate and dicalcium phosphate into monocalcium phosphate. So phosphorus availability is increased. So Bacillus and Pseudomonas, very important bacteria, Bacillus polymaxa and Pseudomonas striata. These very important bacteria, and fungus Aspergillus avamori fungus is very important in phosphorus solubilization. And in case of phosphorus mobilizer, VAM, vascular or vascular mycorrhiza is very important. So mycorrhiza mobilize the phosphorus. So VAM is also important in case of phosphorus solubilizing. Then third one is potassium mobilizing bacteria, potassium mobilizing KMB. So they mobilize the potassium. Then sulfur bacteria, sulfur supplying bacteria also present, they increase the sulfur availability. Then another is decomposer. Actually these bacteria help in decomposing the organic material. So we are going for FYM decomposition or compost decomposition or crop residue decomposition. They accelerate the rate of decomposition. Actually cellulose and lignin are very hard to decompose. So in case of cellulose, trichoderma is very helpful in decomposition of cellulose, and Humicola fungus is important in decomposition of lignin. So nowadays microbial consortia is available, microbial mixture is available for decomposition. So these are the biofertilizer which can be used in organic farming. But these organic sources are used with the restrictions. Some restrictions are there. They are not used as such. The material which is produced on the farm itself can be used, but if has some chance of contamination or produced outside, then these have some restriction in the use. So these are the organic sources of nutrient. So now you have a clear idea why only organic source are applied, because they follow the principle ऑफ हेल्थ. ऑर्गेनिक सोर्स से हमें कोई हेल्थ की प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती क्योंकि वो रिसाइकिल हो जाते हैं, रीयूज हो जाते हैं. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इकोलॉजी. इकोलॉजी का बैलेंस इज मेंटेन क्योंकि वो पूरा सिस्टम में मेंटेन है, कोई चीज़ बाहर नहीं जाती है, ना इन्वायरमेंट को पॉल्यूट करती है. एंड फॉलो द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ केयर. देयर इज नो रिस्क. इनको यूज़ करने में कोई रिस्क नहीं होता कि कोई सॉइल इरोजन होगा या माइक्रोबियल पॉपुलेशन कम हो जाएगी या इन्वायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन होगा. इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है ऑर्गेनिक सोर्सेज के साथ. सो दैट्स वाई ओनली ऑर्गेनिक सोर्स आर अलाउड इन ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, नॉट फर्टिलाइजर. तो ये आपको समझ में आ गया होगा कि क्यों केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर को हम अप्लाई नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि वो हेल्थ के लिए अगेंस्ट हैं, इकोलॉजी के अगेंस्ट हैं और रिसोर्सेज डिग्रेडेशन में को बढ़ाते हैं और उनके साथ रिस्क एसोसिएटेड है इन्वायरमेंटल पॉल्यूशन और इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस का. सो दिस इज द रीजन दैट केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स आर नॉट अलाउड, and this is the list of organic sources. And for the further detail you may watch the lecture on types of manure and the classification of biofertilizer, which is available in the playlist soil fertility and nutrient management. Thank you very much.